Drop that carrying, quit that borrowing, and prepare to do the impossible as we hack the math. Welcome to Math Hacks, where we try to get you to the answer in the least amount of time with the least amount of brain effort. The most common type of math we usually run into is arithmetic. The simplest operations in arithmetic are addition and subtraction. These operations are everywhere. Nobody really wants to do them. I mean, look at this. I mean, would you want to do this? Unless you're this guy, then the answer is probably no. It's a pretty boring multi-step process. Just look at all those carries. These days, we just let the computers do this kind of work. They just don't mind doing all those calculations. But we actually do, because we don't want to do all that work, especially if it's in our head. Fun fact of the day, you can only store about 7 digits in your working memory. Just some food for thought. There are quite a few situations where doing addition and subtraction in your head is useful. So, how do we normally add numbers? Well, let's take a look at 789 plus 433. 9 plus 3 is 12, put down the 2, carry the 1. 8 plus 3 plus 1 is 12, put down the 2, carry the 1. 7 plus 4 plus 1 is 12, and this time the 12 just stays there. And yuck. I mean, this is just ugly. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a hack. Alright, first off, before we hack anything, you gotta do one simple thing. Please read the following text. Alright, did you read it? Now, look at how you read it exactly. I'm gonna take a guess and say that you probably read this from left to right, right? Now, go ahead and read this number. If you read 1,245, you're doing it right. You're reading it from left to right. And yet, we are taught to add from right to left. Isn't that a little weird? I mean, that just seems awkward. So, first off, let's just do our math from left to right like we do everything else. So in this case, we'd add 700 to 400 first. Then we'd get a simpler problem. We'd get 1,189 plus 33. And hey, look at 1189. I mean, that's pretty close to the final answer. But wait, there are going to be carries. No one likes carries. I don't like carries. You probably don't like carries. No, not that carry. So anyway, what are we going to do about these carries? No one wants to do them. How are we going to get rid of them? Well, before I tell you the hack that will get rid of carries forever, we gotta lay some groundwork. In a word, you have to learn about complements. I promise you, they are ultra easy. So complements are pairs of numbers that add up to a certain number. In this case, it's gonna be 100. 23 plus 77 equals 100. 68 plus 32 equals 100. And 43 plus 57 equals 100. Notice this, that the 10's digits add up to 9, and the 1's digits add up to 10. This is true for all complements, and you can use this fact to find the complement of a number. So the complement of 62 is just going to be a number whose 10 digit adds with 6 to give 9, and whose 1's digit adds with 2 to give 10. Small exception, if the number ends in a 0, then it's the digit before the 0 that adds up to 10. So 9 plus 1 is 10. Alright, so how are we going to use complements to get rid of the carries? You'll see that in a minute. But first, let's do something a little weird. Let's round 433 up to 500. And now we have a way easier problem. 789 plus 500. I mean, that's as easy as 7 plus 5. The 89 just drops through the zeros and we get 1289. Once again, we have something that is pretty close to the final answer. But we added too much. We added 500 instead of 433. So now we have to subtract the complement of 33 to get the right answer. 3 plus 6 is 9, and 3 plus 7 is 10, so it's 67. So now the problem changes to 1,289 minus 67. The 12 just drops down, and now we have a simple subtraction problem. We've got 89 minus 67. That doesn't involve any borrowing. 8 minus 6 is 2, and 9 minus 7 is 2. And that's it, and that's our answer. 1,222, just like last time. We've just broken down a problem that involved tons of carries, which are hard to do in your head, and we've simplified it down into 2 easy operations with no carries and no borrowing. As an added bonus, you could actually say 1,200 right at the beginning of the problem. You could have even forgotten the original problem entirely and just done the second part of the problem, and you'd have still gotten the answer. And the second part of the problem is essentially a 2-digit subtraction problem with no borrowing, since you've already said half your answer. You've already said the 1,200. That's not going to change. This hack can also be applied to subtraction problems. Take this problem. 324 minus 256. That has borrowing everywhere. I mean, you can't do 4 minus 6, so you have to borrow from the 20. And then you've got 14 minus 6, and you have to remember that the 2 is now 1, and I mean, head desk. This is just head desk and double facepalm worthy. I'm gonna hack this. Alright, so let's use our tried and true hack. 324 minus 256. What are we going to do? First, let's round up 256 to 300. And now it's just 324 minus 300, so the answer to that is just 24. We subtracted too much though, so now we have to add back the complement of 56. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 6 plus 4 is 10, so it's 44. And now it's a simple 2-digit addition problem. 2 plus 4 is 6, 4 plus 4 is 8, the answer is 68. No borrowing whatsoever. So, congratulations, you can now do this kind of subtraction in only 2 steps with no borrowing whatsoever. And you can now go use these hacks in the real world. Like the hacks? Looking for more? There are plenty more videos coming where you can solve problems like these in seconds. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and keep on hacking!